Perfect. Welcome everybody to our Tuesday night huddle. Sorry, I'm like this, but I worked out all day and I came home and showered really quick and then I was having Zoom issues. So I'm here on my husband's iPad and we got it figured out. But I am so excited for this week's Tuesday huddle. I love all of our Tuesday huddles, but especially this week because this is my girl, the one that got me started in Plexus, my ride or die. I've been with her from the very beginning. She's my diamond upline and one of my dearest friends. And she is in Texas. She got to move from Texas to Texas from California because of Plexus. And I just love her so much. And I cannot wait for her to pour into us so much. So Kristen, I'm going to let you take it away. Kristen Rogers is our guest speaker tonight, and she is amazing.
Thank you. Now I just got hair in my mouth. That's a great intro. You're going to make me cry already. I miss you. Thank you for having me. And I do recognize some faces. For those of you who don't know me or haven't heard my story, I'm going on, 8 years. Does not seem like that. About 7.5. So my topic asked us, choose a topic. We just want to hear from different people. My go-to topic is always, and always will be consistency. We can talk about recruiting, we can talk about IPA, we can talk about how to close the deal. But if you don't have consistency in doing anything at all, whether it's taking your products or following up with people or posting, if you don't have consistency in your life, then it's not going to work. None of it's going to work. And I will go back and say that I tried a network marketing company before Plexus, which caused me to swear off any other MLMs or network marketing companies forever. I could not get one person to join me. Well, not one. I stayed consistent enough to earn our money back on that. But I couldn't get one person to join my team or whatever it was then. And looking back, I was not in love with the product. So I would always say step one is be a product of our products. They're amazing. We all know that they're amazing. Take your products and be consistent. Set an alarm if you have to. I had to do that at the beginning. But then obviously, if you forget, you can tell with Plexus and then it makes you take them. So I didn't have a problem after that. But I saw this quote today, and I don't normally write notes or anything, but it was great and I didn't want to forget. And it was in regards to what we do. And it said, it's not easy, but it's simple. And I was like, that's it. That's all it is. It's not easy. What we do is not easy, but it's simple. And anyone can do this, any age, guy or girl, mom or dad, single or married. It is not easy, but it's so, so simple. All you have to do is the same thing every day. Y'all, I'm doing the same thing today as I did as a silver ambassador. I'm posting almost every day. It doesn't have to be about Plexus every day, but I'm consistently posting. I'm consistently in my team page every day. If you are a gold or above, I recommend you at least have a team chat with your leaders, or you have a team page where you check in and you have that community every day. I'm in my team page multiple times a day, commenting, replying to comments, posting all the time. So I'm doing the same thing as I did when I was a silver, because I started a team page super early, just because I didn't know what I was doing. So I was like, I'm going to put my people here, and we're still there. And it's really amazing, the community that we have made just because we are consistent in what we do. And I really don't want to just preach at y'all, because we've all heard all the motivational speeches and John Maxwell is amazing. I would love to give you a few pointers of things that you can do every day. And they say that it takes 21 days to make a habit. We have a 60-day money back guarantee for a reason. People need to give this time. I used to be so scared to recommend setting up subscriptions. I didn't even have, honest truth, I did not have a subscription until we introduced perks. My bad. But I ordered every single month, and I've always taken, I just have always been anti subscription and auto ships. So I was hard for me to be like, yes, set your auto order. You have to. But now I'm like, yes, you have to give this 60 days, because if you tell me honestly that you've taken your products for 60 days straight and haven't felt a thing, I will happily get your money back. But I guarantee you, I've never in my almost 8 years, if someone has consistently taken their products for 60 days, they have not wanted a refund because they have felt something, whether it's better sleep or they've lost a couple pounds or the energy, it's something. If they were consistent, if it sat in their cupboard, no, I'm not going to give you a refund or help you because you're going to take those for 60 days. And that's just the tough love that you have to give. So 3 things. 1, set alarms to be consistent. If you need to set an alarm to take your products, set it. You need to set an alarm to send out 5 messages, do it. Number 2, post at least 6 days a week. I don't post on Sundays. We do family and church on Sundays, but be present, because I will tell you, I have people reaching out, whether it's their 3rd or 4th time, they may have canceled their account and now they're rejoining 3 or 4 times over, just because I'm still posting. I have people who had joined someone else 4 years ago, though that person stopped sharing. They might still be taking the products, but they stopped sharing. So they reached out to me because they know that I'm still here. I'm still taking my products. I'm still sharing about my products. I still absolutely love them as much as I did, if not more, obviously now than back in the day. And number 3, reach out to 5 people per day. And that doesn't even have to be new people. Reach out to 5 people, whether it's current team members, whether it's a follow-up, whether it's a brand new, or if you're just scrolling Facebook and you see so many people are losing their hair from COVID, they are fatigued, they are tired, send a dang message. Step out of your comfort zone and send a message. Hey, I saw your post. Have you tried these products yet? I know you've seen them. Have you tried them yet? Because I really think they would help you. It's not that hard, y'all. It is so simple. It's not easy to be consistent, but what we do is so simple. And being a diamond now, looking back, like, yeah, there were things that I could have done differently. There's some posts, some graphics. We all were like back in the day posting those hideous graphics, but we posted and I've stayed consistent. And I can tell you, both of my duals, Kate and Christy, who are both on this call, thank you, ladies. I love you so much. I miss you. I want to hug you. Christy took 18 months to make a post from taking her products. Kate did not want to do this business. She told me, don't even talk to me about it. I just want to drink beer and lose weight. I don't want to make a post. So don't ask me. It took her, what, like a year at least to even think that this was a real thing. If I would not have loved them, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but I stayed consistent and loving them where they were. Love your people where they are. If they are not like, yes, sign me up for gold school, I'm going to go diamond today. If that's not them, still love them where they are, because in 18 months, they might have a change of heart and be your next emerald. Or in a year, they might be like, oh, I just earned enough to pay for my products. Maybe I will make a post and get 87,000 friends to message me like Kate Brooks does and still signs a crap ton of people every month. Make it your goal to just be consistent and post. And then I was scrolling before we got on, and a diamond posted, when you get to diamond, this was one of my things. We have a diamond page, and I was always like, I wonder what they talk about. And they're like, I wish I, so I'm in the diamond page. And I just want to share with some things that one of the diamonds said, if you could give one tip from the top, what would it be? So all the diamonds started commenting what their tips would be. So I was like, I'm going to share this with everybody. Like, it's not secret, right? Like, I can share it with you. And so I'm just going to read off like tips from the diamonds, what they would do. Be coachable. Don't stop recruiting. Go silver every single month. Be consistent. Someone else put be consistent. Look at that. Leaders are not avoiders. You're the lid. Your team will duplicate what you do and don't do. Don't make your identity plexus. That will also help prevent burnout. And if you've been around for multiple years, I'm sure we've all experienced some sort of burnout. But the great thing is you can use burnout as an excuse, or you can just put your big girl panties on that day and say, I'm still going to make a post, and nobody comments on it. That's fine. But Plexus is not our identity. Plexus is not my identity. Plexus is a huge blessing. It has brought me so many friends, so many opportunities, so many wonderful things for our family, but it's not my identity. And I think that is what people are seeing. Plexus is still around, where I've seen multiple, at least the companies are still there, but I don't see as many posting on Facebook as we did for a couple years. But a lot of our original people are still posting and sharing Plexus, and that should say something as far as a legacy company and the fact that our products can help so many different people. I've gotten to visit corporate multiple times and visit the lab and talk to the doctors, and just being able to do those things and bring that back to our teams, I think just solidifies the fact that we're going to be here for a very long time. And I just feel super blessed that this is the path that God's chosen for us and for my family and for all of you. Because like I said, not every company is the same, and I couldn't get one person to join me in a different one. So if you're here, just know that there are so many blessings to be had, but just be consistent. It's not easy, but it's simple. So tell yourself that. It's not hard to make a post, you guys. It's not that hard. Go, if you're not feeling it that day, go find an informational post and throw it up and copy and paste. Don't do that all the time, but at least get something up there. You never know if you post something about PCOS, or, oh, I know we can't do like say those things, but if you post something about having head pain or something, somebody might be scrolling that day and have head pain. You just don't know when you're going to reach that person on that day. So, and sometimes you won't get any comments or likes. That doesn't matter. Keep doing it. Like I said, I'm still getting people reaching out years later. So if you show up, they'll show up. It really is that simple. So I know it's been 15 minutes and I think we have 30, but I would love to answer any questions. If anyone has questions, or if there's any other things that we needed to touch on regarding consistency. Do we want to do Q&A? You want me to read some more from the diamond page?
I think people love those tips, and I'm going to give people a chance to put their questions in the chat. I have one for you, Kristen. I hope it's not putting you on the spot, but especially when you've been doing this for a while, and we talk a lot about you have to be okay with the mundane, which is what consistency is, right? You're doing the same things every month. How do you keep either the joy or kind of the passion behind doing the same things every single day?
Oh my goodness. I'm not gonna, I mean, Kate can testify, Christy can testify. They say don't complain to your downline, but they've heard me complain multiple times. We are not growing, we're going backwards. Why is retention, why does it suck so bad? Like, this business is a roller coaster. Y'all just enjoy the ride. But I will say, on those down day or down months, down weeks, whatever it is, give yourself grace. Still put the posts up. Like, we all know that social media is a highlight reel. It's okay to be your highlight reel. You don't need to get on there. And I saw something the other day, like, you want to portray how you're feeling, but you want to make others feel good at the same time, right? If I read someone's post, they're like, I'm so depressed today. Like, I mean, there are times for that where you ask for prayers. That's awesome. But if you see someone's post every day where they're like, oh, I'm sick again today. Oh, my kids are driving me crazy today. Like, would you really want to follow that every day? Probably not. So even if you have those down days, maybe pick something else about the products to share. Just as long as you're putting something out there, you don't have to be like, hey guys, I'm having a horrible month this month. I'm not recruiting anybody. My team is not working at all. You don't ever need to say that. We all know that we all go through that. That's okay to have those feelings and to talk to your leaders and to talk to sideline sisters. Like, we are all in the same boat. I'm telling you what, like, I don't care what rank you are here. You've had a bad month with Plexus and you've had an awesome month with Plexus, and there will be more of those to come. And that's why we have each other. But the consistency part of it still needs to stay, no matter what. That's your job. I look back to the corporate job I had for 5 years. Talk about mundane. Talk about sitting in a gray, I don't know if anyone saw my post about sitting in a 3 gray wall cubicle 5 days a week with mandatory overtime. Like, if I ever get down about this job, anyone better just like throat punch me, because hello, like, this is amazing. I am thankful every day to wake up and not have to get dressed in the morning to take my kids to school and good to go in my pajamas and come home and get ready. And this is what we get to do. Like, I mean, I'm not complaining. So
That is such a good reminder, because I can, I get down in the dumps too, especially after, 7 years in this business and maybe not meeting goals or not being where I thought I was. But man, you're right. When I think back of where I used to be, like commuting every day, and I used to pray, it was so silly. I used to pray, like, how can I get paid to be on Facebook? Or how can I get paid to just like play on the computer and not be sitting in this office and have a commute? So that's a great,
yeah,
great.
so if you catch any of us complaining, we need to just virtual punch or
Yeah,
slap. Yeah.
seriously, my team can like smack me again and be like, "Hey." So one thing you said is about connections, and I just want to remind all the people on the call, a lot of the jewels we get to meet because we go to corporate together. We have jewel training. We meet in Hawaii. I can't remember, Kristen, if you and I met in Hawaii or someplace else, but for one of the reasons that myself and Kate and Sarah put our teams together in this Gold Rush group is to help you guys form those sideline connections. So use that Gold Rush group to reach out, ask people questions, just like Kristen said. Like, if you're having a day and you're like, man, I don't know what to post today, post in that group, and then you get ideas from other teams, because how I lead my team is different than how Kristen leads her team, and Kate and Sarah. So use that. We did have one question for you, Kristen, come through though. What would you say to someone struggling to be bold in sharing the business?
I mean, I've said it over the years, I've had those people who, and I've been able to get more bold myself in my leadership. I think Kate can testify to that too. I used to be like, okay, it's okay. I will hug you and love you. But now I'm like, why not? Tell me why. Let's peel back the onion and talk about it. Tell me why you are afraid to do that. I mean, do you not follow any influencers on Instagram? Have you never clicked your friend's thing that they shared about, and maybe you were interested in that? What are you afraid of? Because it is 2022, and there is not one single person that I have seen on Facebook that is not sharing something. I would just ask questions. My thing is, ask questions until they cannot give you a solid answer. I mean, their answer is probably, I'm scared. I don't know what other people will think. Well, guess what, honey? They're not paying your bills. You've heard that before. They're not going to pay your bills. Do you want $500 in your bank account at the end of this month? Or do you want Sally, that lives 2 states away, to be okay when she's scrolling Facebook and doesn't see you posting about Plexus? Like, let's weigh our odds and let's talk about it. I just would say talk about it.
Love that. Oh, Sally, when we're scrolling. Something someone said to me the other day, I heard it. Gosh, it may have been one of you guys on a training. I can't remember now, but one of the obstacles we have is people are not bold in sharing this business opportunity because they feel like you have to be a jewel, or they have to make some dollar amount in their head, or they have to be some rank before they share. And somebody told me just last week, they said, think about heaven. Think of how many people have talked to you, if you're a believer, about heaven. And you get really excited about heaven, and you believe you're going to heaven too, or you believe that person's going to heaven. Guess what? They ain't ever been there. They ain't been to heaven, but you believe them, right? You believe in their vision. You believe in what's possible. You believe in what they think is coming. And so I just thought that was so good. I was like, yeah, you don't have to, right? Isn't that
and
good?
I will also say, yeah, I think that's amazing. That, I mean, I'm going there, so I'll be there anyways. But I would just also say, before I forget, don't be afraid to invest in your team. I've been investing, and when I say invest, I mean send those little gifts, send a card. If you are a silver and you only have 3 people under you, pick one. a month and send them a card. Kate and I have been doing retreats since we were both Emerald and paying for them out of pocket. We rent a house before COVID every single year, every February. And then we started in Tahoe and it moved up to Scottsdale, and we would take our team to the corporate office and do a tour. And it was such a community thing. And it doesn't even have to be that big. Invite them over to your house. But seriously, send them something this week. Pick a person, a level 1. And even if it's a card and a $5 Starbucks gift card to say, I'm so thankful you trusted me on this journey. Thank you. Send that. Recognition is huge in what we do. And sometimes that little thing will take someone out of their rut they've been in, and maybe they've been feeling mundane and stuck, and why am I doing this? And then they're going to get something in the mail from their leader who appreciates them just for being on this, for ordering their products each month. It doesn't even have to be someone who is heavily recruiting. Just they're on this journey and maybe they've been with you for a few months. Send them something. I think that's my love language, though, is giving gifts too. So I like that.
That is definitely mine too. But you know, I get so caught up in doing like prizes and incentives. I love the idea of just actually making it part of my weekly business to send actually handwritten cards, because most people don't get things like that. We're so electronic nowadays. Like, I think people would probably, you know, squeal if they got something in the mail.
Yeah.
Oh, so Brianna says that you don't know her personally, but you just sending her a Christmas card meant the world to her. I want to make sure you.
I do. I feel like all of our team, like we do know each other, even though we're half a country away. Like I feel like we know each other just from our team pages and stuff, and I love them all so much.
Would you guys have any more questions while we have Kristen on here? We have a few more minutes before we're going to hold to our 30-minute time limit. And, you know, it could be anything about Plexus business. I think it doesn't necessarily have to be about consistency, but I want to give you guys the opportunity since we have her right here. What would be your top tip other than, I know you said consistency, but do you have another top tip talking about your diamond page that you were reading?
I mean, other than consistency, because that's what that is my go-to. I would just say showing up for yourself and your team. Like people need to see you there and feel you there. And it's hard in our virtual world these last 2 years. But again, I think another one would be investing in your team. Like take a certain percentage or a certain dollar amount from your Plexus paycheck, and that is your team gifts for the month. So
I love that. I know a big thing that helped me when I started too, because I also didn't really want the business, but I paid attention to my uplines team page. And then when I started the business, I would spend about 15, 20, sometimes 30 minutes every day in that team page, commenting, answering questions, like asking questions, cheering people on. And I got so many of my people interested in the business just because they saw my activity on the team page. So that's one way, guys, that you can build your influence with your current team, is by being present on whatever team page it is. It certainly doesn't have to be your own, but if your upline has a team page, if your diamond has a team page, realize that those are yours too. Like my team page is just not mine. I'm sure Kristen would say hers is not just hers, it's for your whole team. So really kind of lean into those and get consistent on showing up on those. And you'll probably be surprised how many people start paying more attention. They're a little bit more consistent on their products when they see you more often. And I've had a lot of people start sharing because they just saw me showing up on those team pages.
And that reminds me, one thing that we do, we probably should do it more often, but we'll just put up a challenge and say, hey, first post challenge, post this on your Facebook feed and you'll be entered to win an Amazon gift card. And we give them the post, like just copy and paste from the comments and throw it on your Facebook page. And if you're feeling real frisky, put a picture, a selfie of you with it. And so many people will post if you just give them posts to make. So we've done that, and it's a lot of people have posted for the first time that way too.
I love that. That's a great idea. We also do where we ask people to do a shout out post, which is the same thing. Sort of, if we get someone new, we're like, hey, can you give me a shout out for helping you order? Here's the post to make. So a lot of people will do that too. And, you know, we found, like you said, the business is simple, but often in the beginning, people just need us to tell them what to do. It's almost like when you start a new job. I remember every new job I ever had, you kind of feel dumb the first few days on a new job because you're like, what do I do? What, you know, what's the routine? You just need someone to tell you, post this, send this message, do this. So don't be afraid, guys, to tell your new people exactly what to do.
And I see Betty has one. Any tips on recruiting after several years? And Betty, I think that I feel like I've gotten just more confident in the products in the company as time goes on. And so I don't ever, and even back in the day, I've never felt like I've had to talk anyone into this. Like, I don't feel like we should ever talk someone into purchasing a welcome pack, or especially now joining as a VIP. I mean, we have so many awesome new things that we didn't have back then. Like, asking for a social was the hardest part of this job before VIP came along. So I think just my goal is always still 3 new VIPs every month. And I do that from posting. Honestly, 95% of my new recruiting still comes from posting on Facebook and Instagram. And it's just like, yep, here I am still drinking this pink drink after 7 years. Like, it's just you being you, putting stuff on there constantly. And eventually your friends are going to be like, oh, Betty ain't giving up. I guess I'm going to reach out to her. I'm feeling real fat today, so I'm going to send her a message. Gosh darn it, she got me. That's what I did. I followed the person I joined for like 6 months, and I was having a bad day, and I was like, oh, she posted a picture in her yoga pants, so I messaged her. So you just got to wear them down like that.
I love it. And that's where that consistency comes in. I've had a lot of people tell me they've joined me versus someone else because whoever else it was, either they quit posting or they weren't consistent and they weren't comfortable. They were like, I know you are the Plexus person who's not gonna, you know.
Own it. Own being the crazy Plexus lady. Own it.
Totally.
Do it.
Yes. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Kristen. We truly appreciate you hopping on and taking your evening away from your family and just pouring into all of us. These Tuesday night calls, I know, have just been amazing for not only all of our teams, but for Sarah, Amy, and I as well. So I know Kristen's an open book. If you guys have any questions or want some tips or tricks, you can reach out to her. You can reach out to one of us and we can get it to her. But just know that she is there for you guys if you have any questions. But we just want to thank you guys for hopping on our Tuesday night huddle. We will see you next week again at 8 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. And hopefully my Zoom will get up and running. But thank you, Amy, for helping out tonight. And thank you, Kristen, and everybody else for hopping on.